Jenny made her living through insurance fraud. She would buy insurance policies for her friends, then convince them to name her as the beneficiary. When the timing was right, she would lure her close friends deep into the woods, push them off cliffs, and stage their deaths to look like accidents. But this time, she messed up. Annie had come prepared. She had hidden a syringe filled with sedative on her body, and she jabbed it straight into Jenny before fleeing deeper into the forest. Soon, she found herself facing a cliff, with Jenny already catching up behind her, brandishing a knife and closing in. Just then, the sedative kicked in, and Jenny collapsed unconscious. Annie picked up the knife from the ground, wanting revenge. But in the end, she couldn't bring herself to do it. She drove away from the scene. She hadn't gone far when regret set in. She realized that if she didn't deal with Jenny now, she'd definitely face retaliation later. So she turned the car around and headed back to the cliff. But Jenny was already gone. She figured Jenny had diabetes and would have to come back sooner or later to inject her insulin, so she returned to the cabin to wait. Sure enough, before long, Jenny came back. Annie held a gun to the back of her head, ready for revenge, but unfortunately missed her shots. Before she could react, Jenny knocked her unconscious. When she came to, she had been dragged to the cliff's edge. This time, she wasn't as lucky as before. Despite her pleas, Jenny pushed Annie over the edge. Her head struck the rocks hard, killing her instantly. Jenny called the police, lying that her friend had accidentally fallen off the cliff. After handling everything, she returned to her room to inject her insulin. However, right after giving herself the shot, her body began showing obvious signs of distress. That's when she noticed the open laptop nearby, which contained a video recording from Annie. After watching it, she immediately panicked. It turned out that Annie had already replaced the insulin with hydrogen peroxide. Once injected into the body, it would form blood clots in the vessels that would travel to the brain with the bloodstream. The only way to save her would have been Annie, who was a doctor. Jenny used every ounce of strength she had left to run toward the cliff, hoping to get help, but the effects kicked in too quickly, and she eventually collapsed halfway there.